as you are seated there, we are from the presidency, so we will answer all the questions about Sitole. Not a single one I'm going to answer, because that is a presidency issue. I'm sure we're fine on that one.
All right, let's discuss this further now. Andrew Whitfield, who is the DA MP and spokesperson on police, and Lesiba Thobakgale, who is with the South African Policing Union, spokesperson there. They both join me now. Very good evening to you, gentlemen. Thanks indeed for your time. Mr. Whitfield, I think let me start with you. Given the challenges that the South African Police Service finds itself in, should the Police Minister, Bheki Cele, also be fired?
Absolutely, Cele. The DA's position has been clear from the beginning that the President must put the country's interests first. However, what appears to happen in this case is that the President has put the ANC's interests first by preserving the position of the Minister under Bheki Cele and removing only the National Police Commissioner. And it's very important for us to understand that the National Police Commissioner to suspend the President. But the President has failed to follow that procedural process through to its logical, legal conclusion. Instead, he's reached a mutual agreement settlement, which is no doubt a golden handshake, allowing Minister Cele to get off the hook for his role in the dysfunction that the two of them have created within the South African Police Service. We don't believe that the minister should remain in his position, because whichever National Police Commissioner is now appointed by the President, we simply continue to interfere in operational matters.
Mr. Thobakgale, let me come to you. As the union, do you think that the minister should remain in his position? And do you think that letting the police commissioner go was in the best interest of the country, as stated in the President's statement?
Well, thank you so much for having us. We don't believe that letting go of the current National Commissioner, it is in the best interest of the country. As the President alluded to that fact in his statement, we are viewing it to say that doing that, letting him go in that manner, clearly it is for political interest, and National Commissioner remains to be a political casualty. That is clearly informed, because us as SAPU, which is an organization, a union that is independent and not aligned to any form of political party, we've been writing letters to the office of the presidency to say they need to intervene. We wrote our first letter on the 17th of June last year, where we are saying the presidency should come in to what is happening between the National Commissioner and the Police Minister. And a second letter we wrote to the presidency, and even further, we extended it to the Portfolio Committee. That was on the 30th of September last year. But we haven't received a response. And with the current action that the President has taken, we strongly believe that what he has done to the National Commissioner, we were expecting for the National Commissioner to clearly account to what happened within the operations of SABC. But now we see him being brought out in this manner, whereby then later on the minister himself is left to be in the position, whereas he's part of the problem. He forms part of the crisis.
So should he go? Sorry, Mr. Thobakgale, can I come in there? Should the the police minister also go? And I also want you to address the issue. While you say that this axing or so-called mutual agreement for him to go is politically motivated, what then do you say of the current state that the South African Police Service finds itself in? Because clearly something had gone wrong. If we simply look back at the July unrest last year, where there didn't seem to be enough leadership. So should Bheki Cele go? And what then do you say of, if you say it's politically motivated, what do you say then of the current state that the South African Police Service finds itself in?
We are saying that the minister should go. That has been our position for too long, because we saw his political interference in the duties of the National Commissioner, whereas the National Commissioner is the operational commander within the SABC as the accounting officer. The minister had taken his duties, and we will give an example of issues where he interfered, whereby in the Northern Cape currently there is no provincial commissioner appointed, clearly because the National Commissioner and the Premier there could not agree on the candidate. The minister, his role was to come in and ensure that he mediates between the parties for them to agree. But that did not happen. Restructuring, to take all of this bloated structure of SABC, the generals who are bloated at the national office, to go down to the police station level where policing is happening. Yeah. The minister, since we concluded that agreement since November 2020, the minister, for his own political interest, he has been hampering that restructuring for it to occur. As we speak today, restructuring has not been implemented, clearly because the minister does not want it to be implemented. So we are saying the minister should go. But coming to the state of SABC as it is, the next national commissioner should not inherit the SABC as it is, because the cancer already, it is so big within the South African police services. When you look back from the time of George Fivers as the national commissioner and coming to the subsequent national commissioners, being Minister Khehla, who is the current minister now, going to Pashani and going to Pierre. The generals, each one came with their own generals, whom at the end of the day, they are left disgruntled because when the next national commissioner comes, they don't have a space for them. So that is why the structure is so bloated in that manner. So in order for the SABC to be well and move forward with its mandate, there needs to be a board of inquiry that is convened, that will clearly look into the whole of SABC, because now we've got cabals that side with the minister and others are siding with the national commissioner. And that is not what is needed within the SABC. So that board of inquiry, it needs to look into the whole of SABC so that the next national commissioner will be appointed. They do not inherit the SABC in its current state, because if that does not happen, we will have another national commissioner who will face the political interference and they will not finish their term like we are seeing it now.
All right, Mr. Thobakgale, we'll come back to that very shortly. Mr. Whitfield, you've said that the public spat between Minister Cele and the police commissioner rendered the South African police service ungovernable. Who do you think then is best placed and should get the job to restore it?
Well, Griselda, what we need in the position of the National Police Commissioner is somebody who is appointed with political interference at the outset. If we accept as a premise political interference is the problem, as my colleague from the union has set out, which I agree with, then the appointment process should be free from political interference so that we find the right individual who is properly qualified, properly trained, and with the right experience within the South African Police Service, who can then and credibility to lead a team into a new generation of policing in South Africa. And, you know, at the end of the day, we know that senior civil servants in South Africa are appointed by the Cadre Deployment Committee of the ANC. And we suspect very strongly that when Cyril Ramaphosa was the chair, that this was the case with Khehla Sitole, that he was recommended to President Zuma. And when this kind of interference is the origin of these appointments, unfortunately, what you have is a dysfunctional system from the get-go. So we need a proper process in order to clean out the rot right at the beginning.
Mr. Thobakgale, without a doubt, a competent national police commissioner would obviously be the criteria for the next one. I mean, unions have always had their preference or pointed towards a direction of what they believed would be best for the South African Police Service. Who do you want within the ranks of the South African Police Service to replace Sitole?
Griselda, ours, because we understand the operational part of SABC, we are looking for somebody who is a seasoned police official, somebody who understands the ins and outs of SABC, somebody who grew up, you know, who went up the ladder throughout the ranks.
Who fits that criteria currently?
It is not about an individual for us as a union. As long as the NDP, the National Development Plan, it is followed, which says that there should be a number of candidates that will go through the panel, and we want it to happen like it is happening with the JSC. We can see that, you know, when this process is happening, you know, publicly, so they can gain public confidence. That is what we want to see. It is not, for us, it's not about who. As long as that person is a seasoned police official, is somebody who can be able to stand against political interference, we would welcome whoever will be appointed. But that process has to unfold, not to wake up in the morning, we find that we've got a national commissioner that has been appointed and we don't even know, we haven't even seen the qualifications of this person, we haven't had the interviews of this person, like we are saying that it should happen in terms of the National Development Plan. That's what we believe in.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on the programme. Andrew Whitfield, DAMP and spokesperson on the police, and Lesiba Thobakgale, who is with the South African Policing Union. He's the spokesperson there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.